Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Political Ray. I apologize for the late start. I had a little issue with Rumble, but we've got it taken care of, looks like. So, welcome back. Hope everybody's having a good Friday thus far. It is Friday. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Get out there and enjoy your work, enjoy your day, and have a happy and good Easter weekend. I hope everybody has a good time with their families and what have you. Um, but we're going to get into some things. But first, hit the follow button if you haven't already. Subscribe on YouTube if you want to, but Rumble's where it's at. Just follow me on Rumble. You can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. And we'll go ahead and get into this. Now, the question that I have for everybody today is, why is the Democratic Party polling at 21% approval rating? There's a few things that go into it. This is going to be my opinion based on this, but 21% is what the approval rating is for the Democratic Party. And to me, it's obvious because when you take these 2080 issues and you continue to run with them, when you've got the majority of even Democrats, you've got 60+% of Democrats within the party who don't approve of these things, and the Democrat, leadership still runs with it. You're gonna continue to fall, and I'm okay with it because it just means that the Democrats will not come back into power. So I'm fine with them keeping their pace as far as this goes. But I digress. Take a look at this. We'll look at this. This is just, I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this, but again, question of the day. Why is it so hard for the Democrats to move away from these losing issues that are making them plummet as far as the approval rating? It's a valid question. They won't get away from it. But this is what you have. You've got 68% disapprove, 21% approval rating for the Democrats. Anyway, it's no reason why they're losing, because they won't stay away from losing issues. Now, who's the Democratic leader? It's a valid question. People have it. There was a poll that came out saying that 10% who's leading the Democratic Party at just 10% is actually AOC. Boggles my mind too. I know, but that's where they're at. There's a lot of infighting within the Democratic Party, and nobody seems to be coming out ahead. The minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is polling at a less, like, as far as like the leader of the party, Hakeem Jeffries, who's the minority leader, is below AOC. Now, it could be just because, Hakeem Jeffries, you don't see him a whole lot. AOC, you see on almost a daily basis. She's doing that little fight the oligarchy tour that she's doing with Bernie Sanders. You see her quite a bit. Now, and she's always spouting off some nonsense, but a lot of people like her. It boggles my mind, but I don't see it. But a lot of people do like her. I don't know. It's weird to me too. But anyway, we'll take a look at this. This is from Newsmax. And pollster Nate Silver, AOC most likely 2028 Democratic nominee. Do I see it? No, I don't think. I mean, if she runs, tries to take, the Democrat nominee for the presidency in 28, I don't think she'll get that far. I don't even think that she'll actually run. I think that she's going to take the Senate seat from old Schumer. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. Maybe she will run for president. Who knows? Um. Anyway, pollster Nate Silver said Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat from New York, is the most likely Democrat to be the party's 2028 presidential nominee. Again, I don't see it. Again, I'll say I think that she's gonna take old Schumer's seat within the Senate. I think that's more likely. I don't see her running for president in 28 because even if she does, I don't think she would get that far. I think within her district and within New York, she's liked very much. As far as a national election, I don't think she's got the clout. I'm not sure she has the financial backing. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I could be wrong about this. I just don't see her, even if she does run for president, I don't see her getting that far. I don't see her being a very good debater, as proven by, just House committees that she's been in. A prime example is, the one that she got into it with Tom Homan about the border and her so-called, you know, asylees that she said. And Tom Homan just destroyed her, and everybody saw it. I don't think she's a very good debater. Like I said, even if she got into the presidential race, I don't think she'd get that far. She doesn't have the financial backing, and she's not a very good speaker as far as debating goes. She can talk all day long as long as nobody's opposing her. But the second she gets into a debate, I think she gets destroyed. Again, I could be wrong. Who knows? We'll find out. 28's still a long ways away. We still got midterms coming up, and that's just next year. So we'll see. We'll see. Speaking on his Silver Bulletin Substack with former 538 podcast host Glenn Druk on Thursday, Silver called out Druk for choosing AOC first in their mock draft, noting her incredibly high favorability rating among fellow Democrats. A Yale University poll found the New York Congresswoman earned a 60-plus favorability within her party, the same as former Vice President Kamala Harris. We all saw how that worked out for them. Again, Kamala Harris, not a good debater. She had the backing just because she had financial backing, just because she got the coffers from when President Biden dropped out. And I think that was one of the big proponents as to why she was actually pushed into the nomination as far as the Democratic Party after Biden dropped out, because she was the only one that legally was allowed access to those coffers and all that money. I digress. I think there's a lot of points in her favor at this very moment, Druk explained. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has broad approval across the Democratic Party, adding, I think equally important is the fact that she has, excuse me, very fervent support. I think a lot of people are going to run in 28, and it's going to be a contest for attention and getting those sort of people who might be in your boat to turn out and stay with you through thick and thin. I think I agree with that. I think that there's going to be a lot of Democrats trying, because, again, the Democratic Party, there's a lot of infighting. Nobody actually knows who the clear leader of the party is. There's going to be a lot of people on that side of the aisle, on the left, running for the presidency in 28. A lot of them. Now, as far as the Republicans go, we know that as of right now, the clear leader is President Trump, obviously. Who steps up to the plate after him? I don't know. I'd like to see J.D. Vance, but we'll see. There's a lot of people who are wanting old DeSantis in Florida, but there's a lot of stuff going on with him right now with his nonprofit, whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff going around about that. Maybe we'll get into that another day, but we're talking about the Democrats today and their infighting. But anyway, let's see. Silver said he agreed with everything Druk said, but noted that AOC is not sure she will choose to run despite being an almost consistent presence in headlines lately, thanks to her fighting oligarchy tour with the independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Again, maybe it will be, an AOC ticket. I don't think so. But again, I could be wrong. That's just me speculating. Silver's prediction regarding the far left AOC comes on the heels of another recent poll from Survey USA saying that half of Democrats want their party to move further to the left. Since Druk has already taken AOC first, Silver went with a more moderate pick to draft Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Now, I think Josh Shapiro is probably a safer bet as far as like being a pick for the Democrats as far as a presidential ticket. Now, perhaps it could be something like a Shapiro AOC ticket. That's possible. As far as AOC being the front runner on the head of the ticket, I don't see that happening. I just don't. Again, I could be wrong, but we'll see. I think it's more likely is something like Josh Shapiro being the head of the ticket. That's just what I think. Let's see what else we got in here. In the past 3 nomination races, you kind of have this compromise candidate where you have the moderates and you have the progressives, and you get kind of somewhere in the middle, Silver explained. If you're not going to pick an AOC, then maybe go to someone who's fully moderate, electable. That's what I think. I think Shapiro is just that. He's more of a moderate. He's more of a, old school Democrat, as it were. And I think he's more of a likely candidate to be at the head of that ticket. Now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if AOC enters into the presidential race and then she ends up as the vice president on the ticket. That's something that I could see more likely being the case. Let's see. In the lead up to the 24 election, Silver accurately predicted who would win the White House, saying that his gut says Donald Trump. So there's that. Now, again, I'll say AOC, she says a lot of stuff. She does a lot of things that kind of negates, like brings her down on the ticket a little bit, I would say, just because she is in favor of these issues that are 80-20 issues that are losing favorability within the Democrat Party. The trans thing in women's sports, men and women's sports, it's an 80-20 issue. The border, everybody knows that she's okay with the border being open. It's an 80-20 issue that they're losing on. Illegal aliens within this country is an 80-20 issue. People are saying that they want these people here. I mean, the El Salvador thing with Holland, going over there trying to get Garcia back within the United States. A known gang member, you can say what you want, that there's no evidence, but there was 2 judges. ICE has confirmed it. Informants have confirmed it. Intelligence committees have confirmed it. The guy is an MS-13 gang member. Anyway, before I start rambling about that, we'll go ahead and just look. Title IX, another men and women's sports, another reason why the Democrats are polling so low. Men and women's sports is an 80-20 issue that the Democrats are losing on. Now, if you polled just the Democrats on something like men and women's sports, they're still losing on this issue. Within the Democratic Party, you've got 60+% of Democrats saying that men should not be allowed to compete against women in their sports. It's a losing issue that they will not let go. This is why they're polling at a 21% approval rating. It's just they cannot let go of these issues that are just obviously losing issues for them, but they will not let it go. And again, I'm fine with it. If they want to hang on to this stuff, they will never be elected into power again. Take this for an example. Now, we all know about this, the whole Maine issue. President Trump and the administration bringing a lawsuit against Governor Mills in Maine. I will say, look, I don't know what's going on with this page, but here, let me get this. Let me just bring it up this way. Let's see where we got. That's Nate Silver. Oh, we got here. So I'm going to bring it up this way. That way everybody can see it. And let's see. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Got it. Nope, that's not it. Let's see. Oh, I got to get rid of all this stuff. Hold on just a second. I don't know why it's not working, but here we go. So, this is from ABC. Now, this is a local channel But again, this is just a losing issue that the Democrats cannot let go. Anyway, this is a lawsuit that was brought against Maine. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of this. I don't think that the lawsuit suit should be I don't think it should have taken place. My opinion on this is it's a losing issue for Democrats. Janet Mills is up for re-election next year during the midterms. Let her continue to shoot herself in the foot. Come midterms, she won't be in office anymore. She will lose that governor race because this is a losing issue. It's just like when President Trump put out that ad before the election. President Trump put out that ad against Kamala Harris saying that Kamala Harris is for they, them. President Trump is for you. That was a big, big thing. And it was one of the things that boosted him really high. I think do something like that. Janet Mills is obviously fighting back against the Trump presidency, trying to keep men in women's sports. Again, it's an 80-20 issue. Let her shoot herself in the foot. She'll get voted out of office come the midterms next year. Just keep it, if you keep it relevant, and then you throw some ads out there like President Trump did against Kamala Harris with the they them thing, I don't think that she's going to be reelected. I don't think bringing a lawsuit to the state is going to solve anything, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's going to do anything, though. This is something that is going to get taken to court. Maine has its own state laws, and their state law says that these men can compete against women again. But it sucks for the women until the midterms come up. It does suck. I feel bad for the women who have worked their whole lives pretty much to compete at a high level in order to get scholarships, be the best that they can be, and then they get it all taken away because a man is in their sport. And the whole locker room thing, terrible. Women shouldn't have to be subjected to this kind of crap. But I digress. I'm rambling. One day after the U.S. Department of Justice announced a lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education, Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey expressed confidence that the state would prevail in the case. I think so, too. I don't think that this is going to be something that the Trump administration wins. I think it's a dumb move by the president's administration. I think that it's a dumb move. I don't think that they're going to benefit from this in any way. But anyway, let's see. Frey also said he expects the case to work its way through the appellate system, and at some point the Supreme Court will have to provide some clear direction. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps maybe taking it up to the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, what have you, whichever way it goes. Maybe I'm wrong, and they do get a win out of this. I just don't see it, though. I don't. The federal government has not cited a single legal case, a single legal proposition, other than the president's executive order. But of course, the presidential executive order has no weight of law. It is not the law. The president doesn't get to create the law, Frey said. So we're confident in our case. That may be, again, this is something that I have stressed over and over again. You can sign executive orders all day long, but until you get it passed through the House and the Senate, it's kind of mute. I mean, laws have to be put into place. I don't know what they're doing, but they got to start doing this stuff now, because if you get it out of the way now, midterms are coming up. We don't want to lose the midterms. We need to keep the momentum going. So President Trump needs to do this stuff now so he gets all this stuff out of the way. And people do have a short-term memory. So get this stuff out of the way now. Then when midterms comes up, everything's kind of smoothed out. Everything's leveled out, that kind of stuff. During the midterms, you can say, look, this is what we did. Yeah, it was controversial, but look at the results. You need time for the results to happen. So this stuff has to happen now. Get the laws passed. Get it done now. Anyway. Frey said he also understands there is a disconnect between public sentiment and perception of transgender athletes competing in Maine high school sports, and how he and other members of Governor Janet Mills' administration interpreted Title IX and the Maine Human Rights Act. At the same time, my job as the Maine's chief legal officer as Attorney General is to follow the law as it's written, not to follow law based on what a poll says or what people would like to see happen, Frey said. If folks don't like the law, if folks believe that there's something about what has been passed that they'd like to see changed, go to the legislature, go to Congress to have that change made. Again, like I said, I don't see the point of that. I mean, again, I'll say, it's an 80-20 issue. Okay, take a look at this. This is a poll in Maine. Okay, 64%, 64% to 29%. That's it. Again, like I said, it's an 80-20 issue. Let it just keep it relevant, keep it in the news. Once midterms come up, Janet is going to get voted out. Somebody else can get in there who actually, maybe somebody who's saying, look, somebody who runs against Janet says, we're not going to have males competing against women in Maine. I think, again, like I said, a big proponent of the President Trump campaign was the fact that he put out the ad saying, Kamal's for they, them, President Trump's for you. Something like that can go a long way in a governor's race in Maine where 64% said that they do not want men participating in women's sports. There you go. Just vote her out. Easy. Easy peasy. Anyway, this again, we'll take a look at this. This is some women who are they came to the White House. They did a little press conference talking about these are women who have been forced to compete against men, changing in the locker rooms, what have you. I'm not a fan of it. Shouldn't be happening. Women shouldn't be put into that position. Nobody should. Anyway, take a look at this. This is why is it not coming up? Let's see. There we go. I think I got it. So again, like I said, this is women. They did a little press conference and they just telling their stories. This kind of stuff shouldn't be happening. And again, it's an 80-20 issue. Just vote Janet Mills out of office and then you can fix the state. I don't see the point of the lawsuit, but I digress.
My first experience was when I was 13 years old. I was going to change for gym and I walked into the locker room and there was a biological male there. From that point on, my junior year, I competed in Nordic skiing and lost to a biological male numerous of times. I am fighting this fight for generations to come. And the fact that our governor can look the women of our state in the eyes and say, I'm not going to fight for you, is heartbreaking and it's betrayal, like Riley said. I just want to thank all these women standing behind me and President Trump for fighting for us, because even though my own governor isn't fighting for me, I know there are people out there fighting for me.
Again, like I said, it's an 80-20 issue. Let the cards fall where they will, because I think that if you just like, again, I'm going to stress, if it stays relevant through the midterms, Janet Mills, I don't think she gets reelected. I think she gets voted out to somebody who says, look, we're not going to have men competing against women. Done. I don't think it's going to matter on the rest of their views as long as they come out and say, nope, we're not going to have women or men competing against women in their own sports. We're not going to have it. I think that alone will dethrone Janet Mills and she won't be relevant anymore. You can let me know if I'm wrong. Comment below. Let me know. I think that is the winning issue for Maine. Again, like I said, 64%. That poll just in Maine. It's an 80-20 issue. People don't want this crap. But Janet Mills ain't going to let it go. Neither will the Democrats. It's just one of them things they just can't let go. Again, the question of the day, why are the Democrats losing? Because they cannot let go of this kind of crap. But anyway, let's keep going with this video.
So I compete in soccer and indoor track and outdoor track. And like was mentioned previously today, I had to watch at the Maine Class B State Indoor Track Championship as my close friend and my teammate and other female competitors lost the state championship to a biological male. And this was heartbreaking for me to have to watch. And Riley said that it's betrayal, and that's what it is. It is the job of our elected officials to protect our young female athletes, and they have failed to do that. We walk into sports expecting to have a level playing field, and to walk into the state championship to see a biological male there and to lose to a biological male, that's betrayal. And so I am extremely grateful to AG Bondi for standing up for us when our elected officials aren't doing that. And on behalf of the girl athletes in Maine, I just want to say thank you all, and I look forward to having a level playing field back after this fight. So thank you.
And again, I'll stress it sucks for the women, the girls, the young women who have worked so hard to compete at that level, to have everything taken away. They go to the state championship. Scholarships are on the line. They've worked hard their entire high school athletic career to get to that point. And then they see a biological male, and it's just all gone. You can say what you want about the hormone blockers, the testosterone blockers, whatever, these people take. I don't care. It still does not negate the fact that men are stronger, faster, bigger lung capacity, stronger bone density, what have you. Women should not have to compete against biological males. It's dangerous. It's unfair. And that's the whole reason why women's sports was brought about in the first place, so that they wouldn't have to do that. And the fact that these girls are having to go into a locker room with a biological male, if you're the kind of person who's okay with that, then you've got other problems. I'm telling you right now, if my daughter was forced to go into a locker room with a biological male, ooh, there would be some problems. Anyway, again, it's a losing issue. They won't let it go. But that's who they are. They cling to these losing issues so much. And maybe it's because they just can't backtrack on it. They think that if they do, they'll seem weak or what have you, but they just won't let it go. Take a look at this. This is old Janet Mills talking about the press conference, and just saying that it's a distraction from other things that are more important going on. I don't think, look, my personal opinion, I don't think that there's anything more important going on within your state that's more important than this. Illegal aliens could be up there, because that's another losing issue that they won't let go. But this is very, very important. And the fact that it's being highlighted, I'm okay with, because it needs to be highlighted. She's trying to pivot away from the subject because she knows it's a losing issue. Again, keep it relevant, keep it in the news. She will not be governor come midterms. Anyway, take a look at what she says about this.
Let me also say, this isn't about who plays on the playing field, as I
Yes,
said,
it
on
is.
the athletic field.
Yes, it is.
This is also a diversionary tactic.
Oh,
You know, in the media, that the current administration is taking a lot of heat in other courts across this country.
That does not negate the fact that you've got women being forced to change in locker rooms in front of biological males. It does not negate the fact that you are keeping men in women's sports, keeping it unfair for women who have worked hard. Does not negate the fact that you cannot let go of a losing issue. This woman will lose come midterms as long as this stays relevant. I know I'm keep repeating myself, but as long as it stays relevant, she's not going to be governed anymore.
Including in the District of Columbia right now, and in Maryland right now, for other deprivations of due process, as alleged. So to me, these kinds of actions and press conferences are a diversionary tactic. From what? From what the real issues are facing families across Maine, families across the United States. Let me also say,
what are those issues? Governor Mills, let me ask you a question in all sincerity. What are those other issues in Maine? What are they? You tell me, you let me know. I'm not a resident of Maine. I don't know everything that's going on in that state. You tell me, What is more important than this? I'll wait a minute or two, but you let me know. Why is it that you cannot let this go? Look, this is what I think. I think she made this a huge deal, saying that she wasn't going to back down, and now she can't because she said she wasn't going to. She sees that it's a losing issue, so now she's trying to divert attention away from it onto other things. She's projecting onto President Trump, saying, look at everything he's doing. No, don't look at me. I'm not doing anything. Look at President Trump. Look at all the bad things he's doing. That's what I think. Because she's realized that it is a losing issue. The poll that just come out, 64%. People in Maine, again, 64% of them think that men should not be competing against women. She sees it's a losing issue. So she's trying to pivot the attention off of her and off of this issue because she knows it's a losing issue, but she can't back down from it because she said that she wasn't going to. This is why the Democrats continue to lose. It's why they will continue to lose, because they cannot back off of these issues for whatever reason. Okay. But anyway, another 80-20 losing issue is the immigration. Now we have another representative, Glenn Ivey. Now, if you don't know who that is, that's fine, because I didn't know either. But apparently he's going to go out to El Salvador as well to try and fight for Kilmar Garcia, the MS-13 gang member who was legally deported to El Salvador. He is an El Salvador citizen. He is not a U.S. citizen. He was legally deported. Anyway, take a look at this guy. He said that he's going to go to El Salvador now as well. So, from this is Gunther Eagleman on X. Breaking: another Maryland elected official is going to El Salvador to advocate for serial domestic violence offender and illegal alien Abrego Garcia. Is using taxpayer money to fund his stunt to El Salvador. What's your reaction to this? Look, there's a little clip. Let's see if it'll play. I guess it's not going to play. There's a clip. Now, this guy said that he's going to be going to El Salvador. Again, 80-20 issue that they cannot let go. This guy is an MS-13 member. I will stress again, you can say it's not been proven. It has. 2 separate judges has said he's an MS-13 member. ICE said he's an MS-13 member. Intelligence committees said he's an MS-13 member. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and go over there. Now, I don't know if this, I still don't want to believe this. It's kind of, it doesn't seem real to me, because when Holland went over there said he wanted to talk to Garcia, and the El Salvadorian government said no, but then I saw this all over X. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with Senator Van Hollen in the tropical paradise of El Salvador. That was from the president of El Salvador, Bukele. So, this is still kind of hard for me to believe that he actually got an audience with Garcia, but apparently he did. I don't understand it, but here's just another picture of him sitting down and talking with him. I don't know what was said. Senator Holland, who, again, people never heard of until now, apparently he's going to be making a statement about what they talked about upon his return to the United States. Why did the El Salvadorian government pivot on this and allow him to speak with him, what have you? I don't understand it. But again, it's still a little hard for me to believe. But I mean, honestly, I thought this was AI when I first saw it. I was like, there's no way that's real. because Bukele was just, I mean, that was pretty much a massive troll on X saying that, look, this guy's risen from the dead and blah blah blah. I mean, I don't understand it, but somebody can let me know. It's just, it's beyond me that they would. This guy, meaning Holland, he had no right, just as a senator, he's got no official authority to go over there and demand an audience with this gang member. Anyway, take a look at what President Bukele, he had a statement that he put out, and we'll take a look at this real quick. Oh crap! Not wrong one. Hold on. Let's see if this is it.
But what about the human right of a woman not to be raped? I mean, what about the human right of kids to play or to be free or to go to the park? And what about the human right to live, or the human right to walk in the street, right? But no, they were worried about the human rights of the killers. But
he's not wrong. Again, 80-20 issue. Why is it the Democrats are okay with keeping murderers, killers, rapists, gang members? Why are they okay with keeping them on the streets and not protecting American citizens? Illegal aliens who are in the country illegally, who are gang members, who commit horrific crimes. Why are Democrats okay with those kinds of people in the United States? Why are they fighting so hard to bring someone like that back to the United States? Now, let's not forget, I don't know the accuracy of this news story, but it was, I mean, this Garcia was alleged to be a trafficker as well. He was caught having meetings with other MS-13 members. Why are you okay with that kind of person within the United States? Why are the Democrats fighting so hard to keep illegal alien criminal gang members in the United States? Why? I think it's for a voting base, but that's just what I think. I could be wrong about that. But that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would want to keep these horrific people within the United States walking among us and our children. You can let me know what you think. You can talk about the district lines and what have you, but I mean, anyway, Caitlin Collins had a little sit-down interview thingy with Tom Homan. Now, I like Tom Homan. You can say what you want about the guy. The guy doesn't mess around. He's straightforward, to the point. He doesn't care. And he kind of lit up Caitlin Collins on this interview that she did with him. Take a look at this. Oh, wrong one again. Hold on. I got to switch. There we go.
I've seen some people look at this and say they're worried that the stance of this administration when it comes to this is that if someone is deported by accident, that they have no responsibility for them once they are in the custody of a foreign government.
Look, they keep going back to the fact that this guy was wrongfully deported. He was not. They will not stray from this narrative. They have to keep it going. Again, it's them hanging on to a losing issue. But they won't let it go. They look, how long has it been in the news now? Weeks. Now you've got senators and representatives flying to El Salvador on the taxpayer dime just to have a sit down with the guy. Look, if I was the El Salvadorian president, Bukele, I would say, get lost. That's just me, though. I thought that's what he did in the first place, but apparently not. But I digress.
What would you say to that?
Well, they're in the custody of El Salvador. He's an El Salvadoran national. He was born in El Salvador. El Salvador has him in custody, and El Salvador decide what happened to him. I mean, again, the El Salvadoran president made it clear he's not going to release him. So again, I'm going to go back. The DOJ, they can fight this out in the courts. As I'm not a part of that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. So we'll let the courts, decide what the next steps will be.
Even though it was a U.S. immigration judge who said the one place he can't go is El Salvador. I mean, he could have been deported literally anywhere else.
Again, we can keep going.
They keep bringing up the same talking points. The fact of the matter is, the guy was an El Salvadorian resident. That's where his home is. That's where he's from. He's not a U.S. resident. He's a resident of El Salvador. All we did was send him home. He did have a stay order from a judge, but the fact that him being an MS-13 member, who has MS-13 has been designated as a foreign terrorist group, that negates the stay order. Get rid of him.
Going back and back, but again, that was years ago. Country conditions were different. That gang no longer exists in El Salvador. He had been designated a terrorist since that time. 2 different federal judges said he's an MS-13 member. A police department said he's an MS-13 member. ICE data shows he's an MS-13 member. El Salvador says he's an MS-13 member. As you know, MS-13 has been designated terrorist. The case has the facts of the case have changed since that first decision. So again, I'll leave it up to the DOJ to argue that case in court, but that is where I stand, and that's my belief.
I've seen some.
Now, he's, like I said, Tom Homan don't care. He's just a straight shooter. He'll tell you how it is. There's no reason for this person to be in the United States. He's done his job, and he said, look, I've done my job. It's out of my hands now. It's up to the DOJ to fight that in court, whatever they want to do. He said, I did my job. I got him out of the country. I'm done with it. The guy's no longer our problem. He's El Salvador's problem. I like Tom. He's a straight shooter. Anyway, let me know what you think about the losing issues that the Democrats just cannot let go of. You let me know. I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks. I want to know what you think. Tell me what you think about, the losing issues. You let me know why they can't let it go. I mean, anyway, let me see. I had one more thing. I wanted to, this one. Here we go. I wanted to end on kind of a lighter note. This is something that's a little bit funny to me. Now, this is from Atlanta on Yahoo News. The suspect didn't realize random parking lot he was hiding in was Sandy Springs Police Headquarters. This is kind of a funny story. It's a little bit lighter note. I wanted to go ahead and just end on this one. A victim told Sandy Springs Police his license plate was stolen, but officers didn't even have to look very far. On Monday, Sandy Springs officers got a 911 call from a resident who told them his license plate had been stolen from his vehicle. Now, this does happen a lot. Not to me, but I've heard stories. But authorities filed a report, and the stolen license plate was placed into the Georgia Crime Information Center. The GCIC is a database that holds information about criminal records, stolen property, and other information for investigations. SSPD began searching the area for the license plate through the flock camera system and discovered the license plate was attached to a different vehicle and pinging in the area of Morgan Falls Road. When officers arrived, they found the suspect identified as Amir Smith hiding in his vehicle in this new Sandy Springs Police Headquarters parking lot. Don't ever, when they say criminals are dumb, more often than not, it proves to be true. Anyway, this is funny to me. Let's see. According to the department, when officers asked Smith why he chose that specific parking lot to hide in, he said it was just random and close to his home. Smith was arrested. Police also learned Smith had a warrant out of Sandy Springs for probation violation. Apparently, this guy didn't even know he was parked in a police parking lot. I don't know how you wouldn't know that. Maybe there wasn't, maybe a headquarters. Maybe it wasn't lit up all over the place. I don't know. I haven't seen this place, so I couldn't tell you. But maybe it's not advertised that it is a police station or police headquarters, rather. Okay. It's funny to me. I thought we could end on that little note because it is a little bit funnier. But that's about all I got for today. I appreciate everybody hanging out today. I hope everybody has a fantastic Easter weekend. Enjoy the time with your families. Remember why we do celebrate Easter, for the resurrection of our Christ. And I hope everybody has a good weekend. Thanks for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. You can follow me here on Rumble. You can follow me on X at The Political Ray. And you can subscribe on YouTube if you want to, but I don't know why you would. YouTube's going down the crapper. Just come over here to Rumble. It's better here anyway. We got the lineup from 9 a.m. all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm live Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern, just before that lineup starts. So you can check me out Monday through Friday. Again, I appreciate you being here. I hope everybody has a good weekend. God bless and take care of each other.